Wait, Mark, why'd you put it in today's podcast? Are we saying that first?
That's what I was gonna say.
All right, I'll do that. All right.
But you can say whatever you want.
No. I'm just giving. I need some silence now to let the
You can just scream if you want to for a little while.
silence, my friend, so I can cut this. In today's podcast, Mark and I will be discussing. What are we discussing? Jesus. Damn it.
I love that you didn't read the whole sentence.
Unbelievable. I'm leaving it out. Damn it.
No, I was just gonna say like about the Nets and
All right, I'm gonna say the news of the day.
ooh. They'll really be excited now.
What do you want to say, monkey? You left it blank. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna just reference the news that we were talking about. But there's not any really good news either, so I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
leaving.
fine.
All
That's
right.
fine.
In today's podcast, Mark and I will be discussing the news of the day and look over some of the tremendous box scores. But first, a word from No Halftime. No Halftime is an iTunes app that works like Tinder for fantasy sports. You can swipe left or right to select the one-on-one matchup you like. Use the promo code BBALL for a free $10 at sign-up. So please go check out No Halftime, where the fantasy sports season never takes a break. And with that, we are off. It is a Friday show. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Mark F. Roberts. Mark, how you doing, man?
I'm doing just fine, Daniel. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I've been watching some basketball tonight, but also, Mark, I have been riveted by these political debates. I'm really getting into politics these days. And Trump, man, everyone was pounding on Trump tonight. Rubio and Cruz, even the host, the moderators, man, he was getting it.
You think everybody's got an in for Trump?
Well, I mean, I think at this point, and I don't want to do a whole political show, obviously, because we probably have listeners will get outraged if we do that. But no, I mean, I did think today though. I mean, they're making a concerted effort to kind of go after him at this point. I mean, at this point they got to stop him, right? Otherwise, he legitimately is going to be the Republican nominee. So, but I mean, because I'm in the previous debates, and they've had like 38 debates. It's just. So how many debates can
I think it's 10. I think I saw.
Still 10. I mean, it's just way too many. And first of all, and Carson, I don't know why Carson and Kasich are even allowed to be on the debate stage, which is another bizarre thing. When like 20 minutes will pass before either of those guys are even asked a question. But I mean, normally at least like Rubio and Cruz will go after each other, but today is just they're both hammering Trump with like every question. It was pretty interesting to watch. So
I'm trying to look up the odds.
of like who's going to be like the Republican nomination or nominee.
I was trying to look that up for you.
I mean, the last time I saw it, it was like Trump was like 45 to 50%, and then it was like Rubio was like 35%, I think, and then the rest of the guys. I think the rest of the guys were after that, but it was Super Tuesday, Mark.
Are you super excited?
I am pumped, and not gonna lie. First, I thought about I need to figure out a way to get out of hosting the show that night.
Wow, you're gonna abandon us? You're gonna
no,
abandon
I am not. That's no. But then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Fantasy is more important than politics.
First of all, we do we record on Tuesday nights?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we always do it. We do like 10 p.m. Eastern, which is right at the peak when all the results from all 12 states are going to be coming in. But you know what, Mark? I say fantasy over our president. That's what I say.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's start with some. So not a ton of news today, which was bizarre. Especially if you're playing like something like DFS, because normally you keep waiting, especially that last hour. Something quirky usually happens, but today there wasn't a whole lot. The most interesting news came earlier in the day. I think it was early afternoon, and that is the Brooklyn Nets, Mark, in a really sad. It was a tragedy in Brooklyn. They finally waived Joe Johnson and his $400 million contract?
I was pretty surprised. The reports are that Joe Johnson gave up $3 million in actual salary to get his release from Brooklyn.
So $3 million out of what was it? What, 120 million?
I think so, but I mean that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is he's only got to last like 25 more games in Brooklyn. So he basically gave up $3 million to go play 25 games somewhere else.
Well, yeah, but the thing is this, right? So Joe Johnson has he ever been out of the second round of the playoffs?
Did Atlanta make it into the second round? Is that what you're saying? One of his Atlanta teams make it there? I don't
know. Wasn't he on the Nets when they had KG and Paul Pierce? And they make it to the second round once? I'm pretty sure on Brooklyn.
I think they lost.
I think on Brooklyn he made it to the second round once.
Really?
Yeah, maybe he's only. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's only been in the first round.
I think Chicago beat that team in the first round.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure.
You think it's worth it to him to give up? Would you give up $3 million to go play for a contender?
Well, me, I don't have a contract for $120 million, but I'd like to think, and that's not counting his previous contract. So I'd like to think if I had, whatever, let's just say if I had $10 million in the bank, I'd like to think I'd give up a little bit to go play for Cleveland, where I think he's going to end up, and actually have a legitimate shot to win an NBA title. And play on a stage, that you've never played on. I mean, it's an
interesting question. I mean, he could go do it next year as well, but I give him kudos for everybody always talks about how athletes choose the money over winning, and he's, I guess in this case, didn't do that.
No, I mean, I give kudos to David West, who turned down $12 million, to play for San Antonio. I don't give kudos to Joe Johnson, who's already made. I bet you David West has made a tenth of what Joe Johnson has made. I mean, David West gave up legitimate money to go play for a contender. I mean, I don't give up. I'm not going to give credit to Joe Sleepy. I have no pulse Johnson.
He gave up $3 million. That's not real money,
dude. Well, no, because we think about it. That's what he gave up less than 3%. What is it less than 2% of his contract?
First of all, that was a 7-year contract. So even if you're looking at this year. What did he make? $20 million. That's 15% of his salary. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I'm saying is a lot of times players don't work on buyouts or they won't get bought out because they don't want to give up the money. He actually gave it up. I think you got to give him. I think you got to at least give him some kudos.
I give him 0 kudos, Mark, and I'm sticking. I'm sticking to that point. Plus, you got to figure if he goes to Cleveland, they win an NBA title. He's got to rake in endorsements that are going to overcome that $3 million.
There's no way he gets an endorsement. What's he going to endorse?
Dude, something for Cleveland.
That's a good question for our listeners. What's the perfect endorsement for Joe Johnson?
I'm telling you, if I was selling medical supplies, what's the device that has the beep 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 beep? What's that device called? An EKG or
Isn't that a heart rate monitor?
Yeah, heart rate monitor. That's what you get him. That's what you get him to advertise.
What about a sleep mask?
That as well. Yeah. I mean, so many things. I really do think that him and Ben Carson should do a commercial together, and they're both just sleeping, or you think they're sleeping, but then they're up. And they start talking.
Maybe they could do a mattress commercial together.
Absolutely. Yeah, listeners, let us know. Any listener who can get us the best thing that Joe Johnson's could be a sponsor for. What can we give them? We'll give you a shout out on the show, and also something else that Mark comes up with. Daniel will run over to your house and give you a back rub. None of that I won't do. Come on, you would do that. No, I won't. And I will say this: I'm not. Are you good at giving massages? Because I am not. I just don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue. How can you be bad at that? I just am. I don't know how to give a massage. I have. I think that probably sounds like you don't like to do it. No, I don't mind, but I just have literally no freaking clue. I even Googled it one time, and I have no clue. And it's funny because I'll be on dates, or you start dating a girl, and they'll ask, or they'll say, "Oh, I love massages," and they're always stupid because they always ask you. And I apologize to Rebecca, one of our listeners. She's not stupid. She would never ask me this. But they always ask you, like a silly question, and they're like, oh, did you give good massages? Like, what are you supposed to say? Like, no, I don't really know how to give an accurate massage.
I should warn you, I can't I can't give good massages.
So I always lie, and I've never had someone call me out on it, but like I know I'm not any good. I have no clue what I'm doing. It's just it's a mess. So are you saying that you're?
I don't know. I know how to rub my wife's shoulders.
Did you like take a course? How did you
I don't know. You move your thumb around.
Right. So you don't even know if you're any good as well.
I guess not. I'm not a professional masseuse.
Yeah. So there you go. I just let the world know that I don't know how to give a good massage. I'm telling you, it's hard.
I think you're overthinking it.
Maybe. All right. So, and do you have any thoughts with the Joe Johnson news, though? I mean, in terms of, the Nets cutting him, I mean, like all day long for DFS purposes, I was trying to figure, and even for season long, I'm trying to figure out, I mean, who's going to benefit? I mean, I know Donald.
I think the first thing you need to answer is, do we need to cut Joe Johnson or not? Because I believe he's owned in more than half of fantasy teams.
Yeah, I own him in our second chance league.
Yeah. So my guess, it sounds like the teams he can maybe go to is Oklahoma City, Cleveland, Miami, or Atlanta are the leaders right now. So I would wait till we find out which team he's going to sign with before I would drop Joe Johnson. Although at the same time, I'm not sure which of those teams he could sign with, and then I would recommend you keeping Joe Johnson. So maybe it's worth recommending dropping him now. Like, he's not going to play enough on Cleveland. He's probably not going to play enough on Atlanta, would he? Like, he's got to get 33, 34 minutes a game before he's fantasy relevant.
I mean, remember, on Brooklyn, he was getting like 32 minutes a night and putting up just useless stats. So, like, to me, I'm perfectly fine with cutting him, letting him loose.
What about Oklahoma City? They have such a hole at shooting guard.
Like, that's the one team in terms of like real life basketball that I wish he would go to, because I think he actually could help them. But I still don't see him becoming like truly fantasy relevant. Remember, Mark, he was getting over 30 minutes on a horrendous team.
He was getting 33 minutes a game.
34
minutes a game this
season. Where they had no really legit scoring option besides Brook Lopez. I mean, Thaddeus Young is not a scoring threat. He can do a lot of other things. So if Joe Johnson couldn't really make much of a fantasy impact on Brooklyn, how is he going to do that on a good contender?
Well, I mean, is it possible if he's like the third option or fourth option instead of the first option that opens some things up for him?
Yes, he'll get more wide open shots, and he can maybe hit some threes. And will he have a couple games where he puts up maybe 20 actual points in OKC? Maybe, but like it's still like I'm fine with cutting him and letting him loose.
I think you're right. I think that's the most likely outcome here.
And I really do think he's going to go to Cleveland and play with LeBron. So if he goes to Cleveland, there's no conceivable way that he could become fantasy relevant. He's not gonna be starting over any of those guys. I mean, I don't think he's gonna start over J.R. Smith. He's so he's not starting in small forward over LeBron. So I mean, how many minutes is he gonna get in Cleveland? 18.
Not enough. Yeah, 10 to 12.
Also, like the Cleveland thing is tough as well though, because like I almost said Blatt. Tyronn Lue wants to play fast. If you want to play in a fast system, bringing in Channing Frye, and then Joe Johnson to run a up-tempo system.
Oh my goodness! Can you imagine Channing Frye, Kevin Love, Joe Johnson on the court at all the same time with Kyrie Irving
in the finals against Golden State?
Oh no!
Right, so
LeBron can't guard that many people.
No, so it's going to be interesting to see. But then again, maybe if he only plays in 16 to 18 minutes a game, maybe he can have a pulse and do some things on the court and be productive.
But unfortunately, that won't help your fantasy team.
No. So I'm talking more in real life there. But so I'm going to cut him in the one league I do have him in. I'm fine if you guys do that. If you want to hold out.
Well, the thing is, we will know pretty soon. I would guess. Yeah.
What is
a Friday? We're taping Thursday night. I would guess by Friday afternoon we know who he's going to sign.
No. It takes 2 days to clear waivers, Mark.
So, no, he won't officially sign, but I would guess that Mark Stein or Woj tells us where he's signing.
If you had to guess, who's going to get the scoop first, Woj or Mark Stein?
Who had this scoop?
I think it was Stein.
I'm leaning Stein for some reason. I don't know why.
Like that always I still don't understand like the significance of getting the scoop, right? Like so what do you get if you're, if let's say Woj comes up with it 10 seconds faster than Mark Stein does? Do you get anything? Or
I've always wondered about that. Well, I mean, I think you're, first of all, there are scorecards out there like that say who got what first. But then I think it's just a reputation thing.
Wait, what do you mean scorecards? Like, you mean like your employer has a scorecard? Like, hey, Stein beat you on the scoop?
No, I think like there are websites out there that keep track of who gets which scoop first.
Really?
But what I've always wondered is like occasionally you will see both of them tweet something within 30 seconds of each other, which means they're not getting it from the other person. Right? Like they're independently got the same news at the same time and just one was able to tweet it faster. Right?
Yeah, I mean it's
does that mean they have like some sort of like, does Mark Stein have some special software where he just like doesn't have to fill out the whole tweet or something, or does somebody do that for him? Like how does that whole process work?
So the way that I envision it, like the trade deadline, is I envision that child labor comes into play. So Stein hires like a whole elementary school of kids, and like every possible player, every possible trade, they do like a draft tweet. And like so they have them all ready. Horford for the Boston's Brooklyn pick, and they have all these things ready to go. And then Stein and they each have like a number, like you're kid number 1, you're kid number 2, and then like whenever a trade happens, Stein just yells out a number, and then that kid hits send, whatever the number correlates to the trade to that computer screen or that kid. Because I mean, like you're right, it basically comes down to how fast can you tweet it out.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna lie.
And especially Woj's are always so formulaic. They always have like the same beginning, middle, and end, and they just switch in the numbers.
He clearly must have a copy in place, and then
he's got a template or something. And
yeah,
I don't know.
But the thing is, Stein's also kind of a chubby guy, so he has fat thumbs, so it's also got to be difficult for him. Although I guess when you're tweeting, you don't really use your thumbs, but he also maybe he has some fat index fingers or whatever, so that could hurt you when it comes to tweeting.
All right. Let's move on here.
Fine. Next news of the day, Mark. Interesting news. This actually could be more fantasy impactful.
Sorry. Back to Brooklyn. Is there anybody on Brooklyn that you care about picking up? That, I mean, like you said, Joe Johnson's playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is no. I need to see what's gonna how.
I think the long answer might be no too.
That's actually a good point. So, I mean, all day long I thought about who to play for DFS, and I ended up playing Bogdanovich a little bit. I saw Donald Sloan's usage rate goes from 20% to 24% without Joe Johnson. So I thought for a second maybe Donald Sloan might become somewhat more a more relevant player. Judging from that game.
How in the world did you unearth that stat?
I don't know. I went on NBA Wowie and I looked at usage rates without Joe Johnson. So, I mean,
if there's like a story about why you shouldn't play DFS, I feel like that's it. You're spending your day on NBA Wowie, looking at Brooklyn lineups with and without Joe Johnson in it.
Well, hey, I mean, people that
was that like the most depressing thing you've done all month?
Oh God, I've done so like. I wish I could like tweet out a picture of like some of the searches that I've done, especially like looking at like the Phoenix lineup. Like some of the players that are some of the lineups. Whenever injuries come in, some of the lineups that you have to search. I mean, it's some crazy stuff. So no, I've done much worse searches. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now.
Looking at Brooklyn lineup data doesn't sound fun. I mean, they did play on Thursday night. The game's not quite over, but they started Wayne Ellington. So maybe we should start with him. Are you interested in Wayne Ellington at all?
No.
I
mean, if he does, for some whatever reason, end up getting 30 minutes a game, then maybe I'd add him for like 3-pointers or something. But no, it's a short answer and long answer.
All right, what about Bojan Bogdanovic?
He's the one guy that's intriguing to me. He's basically like he's very similar to Ledovic in a lot of ways. I think of these two guys as similar players, except I think Ledovic is a little bit of a better player, a little bit of a better shooter. But they actually look identical too, quite honestly. But I'm not a huge fan of Bogdanovic. But you saw like what he's doing tonight. Tonight he's playing a great game. When he gets shots, he can become relevant. He doesn't do a lot besides shooting and a lot, besides making three-pointers. So again, if I'm looking to stream someone maybe for points and 3-pointers, or if I'm looking to add someone just for that category, maybe I'd give him a look. But I'm not overly excited about him either. Like we've seen what he can do in the past as well. Like that's a problem with these Brooklyn guys. We've seen what all these bums can do, and they're all bums.
Yeah, they really are bums. It's a pretty depleted roster if you look at it. Like outside of Brook Lopez and Thaddeus Young, here are the players that have gotten significant playing time tonight: Bojan Bogdanovic, Donald Sloan, Thomas Robinson, Markel Brown, Shane Larkin, Chris McCullough's got a little run, Willie Reed, Wayne Ellington, and Sergei Karasov.
I will say, man, dude, I played a lot of Donald Sloan because of what I just told you. He's had a good game: 12 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, only 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they've still got the majority of the fourth quarter to go. Like, how many minutes were you expecting him to get?
Well, first of all, they're playing Phoenix, so not like take everything with a grain of salt as well. But yeah, no, I mean, I was expecting Sloan to get maybe 28 minutes, 28 to 30.
He might still get there.
But no, I mean the guys who I think are the one guy who actually think would have benefited the most, and I'm praying he comes back this year still is Hollis Jefferson.
Yeah.
Sadly,
I know a lot of people are excited about him. I'm not sure his ceiling is super high. Like I feel like he's sort of a Justice Winslow type player.
Oh, he's got a much more refined offensive game than Winslow. Winslow has no offensive game.
No, he has the same offensive game as Winslow.
No, Hollis Jefferson can shoot. If you watch Winslow shoot, you duck. When he takes a shot, you duck.
Hollis Jefferson is the exact same on the offensive end.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with that a little bit. I think Hollis Jefferson has a little more offensive.
What makes you think that Hollis Jefferson can do anything on the offensive end?
Well, I mean, just from watching him play. What do you mean?
He averaged more rebounds than points in his 19 games this season.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he's a great player. I'm just saying he's really the only young talented guy they have. So without Joe Johnson, I think he would. No,
he's talented, but he's talented in the same way that Winslow is, in the fact that he's a good defender, he's athletic, but he's not a scorer. I think even if he got 30 minutes a game, I don't think he'd get 10 points a game. He'll get closer to 10 rebounds a game than he would 10 points a game.
And maybe it's been just too long and I haven't watched him play in that long. But I remember
he would be good at steals. He would be fairly good at block shots. He just doesn't even put up a lot of shots. He can't really shoot. I mean, I think like coming into the draft, the story on him was like he's athletic as all get out. He's a good basketball player. He just can't shoot.
Where did he get drafted?
Well, the Blazers drafted him, so it was in the mid-20s, and then they traded him for Plumlee. So,
I mean, yeah. I mean, first of all, I don't even know when he's coming back, but I think even if he's not going to score points, he would get the bulk of Joe Johnson's minutes.
I do think he would be, a pretty relevant guy, and I think, like, depending on what you need, I think he'd be worth picking up. It just wouldn't be for scoring.
No, I mean, I also do think Thad Young and Lopez obviously are going to get.
He was the 23rd pick.
All right, so yeah, I mean I think me and you were talking yesterday or 2 days ago. I mean, it's a really good draft last year, man.
Yeah, it really was.
But so I'm obviously if you have Thad Young or Brook Lopez, you probably should feel pretty good about this news because those guys, they should be able to get 20 shots. I mean, in their sleep right now, especially Lopez.
They're going to have to get to 20. They're going to have to get to 90 points at least somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, every NBA team scores at least 90 points a game. So,
yeah. So, I mean, what about you? Is there anyone that you would consider picking up?
No.
Yeah, no.
I think the only two people that should be owned on that team are Lopez and Thaddeus Young in a standard league. Jared Jack's still owned in 30% of Yahoo leagues. You can probably drop him.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that like there's at least 30% of the people who don't play anymore. Because I mean, I was looking at like Eric Bledsoe is still like over 50% owned in some leagues, and
Eric
then like
Bledsoe is 48% owned.
Yeah, see, I mean that like what is that?
He's owned in more leagues than his teammate Alex Len, PJ Tucker.
You know what I wish you could do on like ESPN and Yahoo. I wish they would do like leagues that are for money and show you the percentages in those leagues.
Right.
That then it would be relevant. Like telling you like, you know, because I mean there's so many leagues that people set up and then they just, you know, for whatever reason they get one injury early on and they just, you know, they stop playing. And it's and so that skews the percentages. It completely skews. Mark, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Have you ever been frustrated trying to buy tickets? Maybe to a sporting event or a concert online?
Never a concert, but yes, on sporting events.
I mean, Mark, most sites make it too complicated. They try to sneak in huge fees at the checkout. That's why, my friend,
that's actually my least favorite part.
Is what part?
The fees at the checkout. The
hidden fees they try to sneak by you?
Yeah, I know how to run a website well enough that I can usually get to checkout with the tickets. But it's when I get to checkout and there's a huge fee there or any fee, even if it's a couple bucks and it says like convenience fee, I just get frustrated.
No, it's crazy annoying, especially when you think like, you know, you got a great deal. You're like, oh, I spent like, say you had a budget of like $30 and you spent like 25 or whatever. And then you click on like, you know, you click this 8 submit buttons and then finally you get to the final page and it tells you spent $75 because it adds on like $40 worth of like fees you've never heard of. Like a convenience fee or some weird stuff.
Convenience fee is the stupidest one. Although one time I did just see fee. It didn't say any sort of fee. It just said fee.
Yeah, no idea.
That's ridiculous. You can't just put fee. You can't just say we're just charging you extra money at this point.
It is.
No reason.
It's ridiculous. It's almost fraudulent, Mark. And that's why you need to come with me and join SeatGeek. They've made it easier than ever to buy and sell sports and concert tickets. Now, as we discussed, I think it was 2 days ago, as you were reading the lovely read from our sponsor, SeatGeek, I was Googling online the top pop concerts of 2016, and I stumbled upon Enrique Iglesias coming back on tour this year to New York City, Mark. So what did I do? Oh, that's right. I'm going to see Enrique using SeatGeek. SeatGeek, it's so user friendly to navigate on. I love the website. At first, I had them send me emails. So whenever I saw there was a reduction in price for the Enrique tickets, it sent me an email. I pounced on it, and then I got some beautiful Enrique tickets. They give you a beautiful color-coordinated system on the site telling you what are good tickets or good prices versus what are, you know, unfair prices. So it's just a really easy site to use. I recommend you using it, obviously for sporting events, but also for concerts too. Mark, I know you're an Enrique fan too. If you want to join me, you can. So again, you guys should definitely go to SeatGeek. You can also get $20, a $20 rebate on tickets if you download the free SeatGeek app. Go to the settings tab, click add a promo code. You enter the promo code Mark, not Dan. You enter Mark, M-A-R-C, like Marc Gasol. And then SeatGeek's going to send you $20 after you made your first ticket purchase. Download the free SeatGeek app. Enter promo code Mark today. Mark, do you have the app? Do you have the SeatGeek app?
I do. I absolutely do.
Now, are there any concerts that you want to go to this year? I mean, you know, it's all just.
Boise doesn't get the same sort of action that New York gets.
Who's will be like the best concert that come to Boise?
Oh my goodness, I got to tell you, I don't go to a lot of concerts. My daughter, my 5-year-old daughter, has decided that her favorite artist is Pink because she loves the color pink.
Oh, I love Pink.
Yeah, so we have the little music player or whatever that will play just anyway. We asked it to play Pink, and she learned definitely some new words from Pink.
So like then were you like rethinking it? You're like, oh no, that's probably not a wise idea.
I didn't realize how much cursing was in Pink songs.
Yeah, I don't think of her as like as cursing songs.
No, yeah, I mean, it's different when you listen to it with your 5-year-old, and then she starts asking what specific words mean, and yeah, I don't know.
I mean, she does have a song called like "Blow Me." She also has another one called "Effin' Perfect."
Yeah,
Um, Just give me a reason. Oh, I love that song. That's a romantic, heartbreaking song.
so I'm trying to decide whether it's a good idea to try to take her to a Pink concert or not, because she does like the music. Like she sits there and jams out to it and sings and dances.
Yeah,
She
and
was
also,
put on like pretend Pink concerts
oh, that's
for her
funny.
stuffed animals.
In all seriousness, I heard that Pink puts on like a fantastic show, and I heard that she was actually going to be the Super Bowl halftime performer one year, and
Oh, interesting.
they went with, I think, someone.
Beyonce.
Well, no, it wasn't the year they went with Beyonce. It was the year they went with someone old and stupid
Mm.
when they should have done when Pink would have been when she was much more relevant. But yeah, no, I think you should take your daughter to Pink. I mean, I would think for the most part it's a pretty, you know, um, reasonable show in terms of she's not going to get too graphic or anything. Because a lot of
I
her
would think,
listeners are I think would be like teenage girls and stuff.
right.
Um, so we get back to basketball a little bit.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we do have another piece of news today. This one is I think, more fantasy relevant, and that's Eric Gordon. I think he's on a lot of people's. He's available in a lot of leagues. Pelicans need help desperately, even though they beat OKC tonight. But Eric Gordon, Mark, he said that he could be back any day now, quote unquote, and he's implying that he's nearing a return. This could be big news, or could it? Mark, what are your thoughts?
Well, let me see if this will entice you to consider Eric Gordon. You want to know who played 42 minutes for the Pelicans on Thursday night?
Alonzo frickin' Gee.
He did start. Alonzo Gee started. Dante Cunningham started and played 42 minutes. Alonzo Gee played. Is it G or Gee?
It's irrelevant.
It doesn't matter.
No.
He played 23 minutes. Tony Douglas played 14 minutes. I mean, they're playing anybody with a pulse. Bryce DeJean Jones went down with an injury for the Pelicans. He should be out for quite a while. So I think there'll be plenty of time for Gordon to be, when he comes back, to be able to get on the court. And he's returning from a fractured finger, which means, as I always say, there's a big difference between injuring your legs and injuring your arms or hands or shoulders. Like Eric Gordon, if he wants to be, is in good shape. He should be ready to go.
Who do you always say that to?
I always talk about that on the podcast. I always make mention, like, are they like, if a player is returning from a knee injury, they're not gonna be able to get on the court and play 30 minutes right away.
I'm just messing with you. No, I totally agree with you. I mean, look, first of all, how bad does OKC have to be right now, or how pissed do they have to be when they lost to a starting lineup with Cunningham, Davis, Ajenka, Gee, and Norris Cole? But
that's really bad. I don't know why everyone thinks that they're in position to beat the Warriors and the Spurs this year.
No. Yeah,
that's what everyone's got to remember. They've got to play both of those teams. They don't just have to beat one of those teams.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I know. Well, people are saying that just because of solely how good Durant and Westbrook are.
No, they're great.
And let's be honest, if those guys do get hot, they can win any game. So I mean, you just need those guys to get hot 4 out of 7 games.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be favored in either series. Even if you said they're 40-60 to win one of those series, I think that's the very best case you can make for Oklahoma City. And so then they've got to win a series in the Western Conference semifinals where they aren't favored. And even if they pull an upset there, then they've got to go to the Western Conference Finals and do another upset.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I mean, I think it would be shocking if they ended up winning the title this year.
Yeah.
And one big reason why I think that they're will not win is because Serge Ibaka stinks. Like, what happened to him?
I don't know. I don't know if it's his role in the offense or what.
Yeah, but whatever. Why couldn't he just take the philosophy? You know what? I'm going to let Durant and Westbrook shoot. I'll be the defensive stopper. Like I thought he used to be that.
Well, I don't understand why. And by all accounts, he is a good defender. I'm not sure why he doesn't block as many shots as he used to. I don't know if he's lost some athleticism. It certainly doesn't make sense that his role in the offense should change how he plays defensively, but it seems like that's maybe what has happened.
Yeah, it's been really bizarre to watch him play this year.
Kudos to him for developing a jump shot. Like when he came in the league, he was very raw, and he was just basically just like an athletic monster who could block shots. And he has a very nice jump shot now.
Yeah, that's
what happened to the original like monster who would block shots and rebounds.
That's what's ironic, man. Like a few years ago, everyone would say, "Man, if Serge Ibaka could ever develop an offensive game, he would be a beast." Now he developed the offensive game, but it's like he forgot how to play defense. Like he's not he doesn't intimidate anyone on the defensive end. So it's just it really is just Westbrook and Durant. Like I mean, he's not he cannot be the third best player on a team if you want to win a title. I don't think. But yeah. So getting back to Gordon, I mean, I'm totally with you. I think like when he plays, and earlier in the year he played a significant amount of time went without Tyreek. His usage rate was really good. He gets tons of shots. They need scoring. So he's going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to get to play a lot of point guard, especially because Drew Holiday, even though he's playing over 30 minutes these days, still doesn't start. So Gordon's going to have the ball in his hands. He could be a pretty nice pickup if he's on that waiver wire if he does come back. It'll be interesting to see if they have him on a minutes restriction. Because I mean, Drew Holiday's been on one for the whole dang year, which has been frustrating. But as long as Gordon's going to be, get the green light.
I don't know why they would have him on a minutes restriction for the pinky. Like he just had a broken finger.
Yeah, I mean, you would think not, but who the hell knows with what's going on these days in the NBA? So yeah, as long as he's getting the green light to play 28, 30 plus minutes a night, I think he can really be an asset to your team.
Agreed.
And if you do have Alonzo Gee, maybe it's time to drop Alonzo Gee or Alonzo G, whatever.
You need to get some help if you have him on your team.
If you could like make Alonzo Gee, whatever, Dante Cunningham, and Kendrick Perkins and mold them into one player, I still wouldn't want that player. Anyway, Mark, that's really it for news today. There's not a lot of news. So you want to talk about some of the box scores?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Do you want to talk Golden State? I mean, they crushed the soul of my Miami Heat yesterday, barely beating Miami. And tonight, Golden State, it's just Steph Curry, man. Golden State, 130. They beat Orlando at 114 points. Steph Curry went berserk. 51 points. Shot 20 of 27 from the floor, 10 of 15 from three-point range, which is just criminal. 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 block, 5 turnovers. I mean, I don't know what to say about this guy.
He's amazing. Did you read that article about how like the video games don't know how to accurately depict him in their video games?
No. What did it say?
Like they're talking to like the NBA 2K developers, and the guys are just like, we don't know how to put Steph Curry in our video game anymore. Like we've tried to make it realistic, so you can't take 40-foot shots, and you can't like do the things that he does and make shots. And now it's made it so that Steph Curry isn't realistic in their video game anymore because he doesn't. They basically legislated out doing the things that he does in real life. Like what he does in real life is so amazing. You can't even do it in the video game.
Yeah, I guess that would be like akin to like on like Madden for NFL. They basically made it like almost impossible if it was like 4th and 10 and you went for it to actually get a completion on that.
Right.
They said that that's like so unrealistic in real life. So I bet it's like similar, we're in NBA and NBA like 2K or whatever game you're playing where they were like, no one would shoot a 35-footer. So we're going to make your percentage to be like 5%, where he shoots them like probably like 40% or something crazy in real life.
Yeah, no, that's their exact problem. So they're trying to figure out how to put that in there while recognizing that he's the only person in the league that can do that.
I think me and you with our computer skills should be able to figure out some way to do that, right?
We should be able to help him out, sure.
Yeah. So otherwise for Golden State tonight, I mean, with numbers that Curry put up, they didn't need much else. If you played Clay or had Clay in something like DFS, you were furious. You only had 9 points, 4 of 10. Andrew Bogut, I'm not even going to mention that guy.
How many 3-pointers do you think that Steph Curry has made in his last 7 games?
Wow. Well, I know he made 10 tonight. I know he made at least 8 yesterday. So I would guess 60.
You went a little high.
It is a lot.
He's made
40.
He's made 43 3-pointers in 7 games.
I bet you that's more than some teams have made like the entire year.
And that's not even like, usually when you hear those stats, it means like the game before he had 0 3-pointers. If we go back 9 games, he's made 55 in his last 9 games.
What percentage was he shooting in those games?
Oh, I don't have that right away. I mean, something
it's gotta
absurd,
be
I'm sure.
Got to be close to 50, you'd think, right? Or 45, 50?
Oh, my goodness. It must be. I have no idea, but he's been remarkable.
Yeah, otherwise for Golden State, not much to talk about. So one guy who's been disappointing me lately, and I think it must be in season long too. I don't own him anywhere in season long. That's Draymond Green. Are you at all?
His 3-point percentage for the last month is 48%.
Yeah, that's
on 12 shots per game.
That's crazy. I'm being dead serious. I don't think Dwayne Wade's made 12 threes all year.
That's probably true.
Which again, that boggles my mind. Why can't he develop a 3-point shot?
The Heat don't do it.
Well,
you think he'd been in the league long enough, he would do it.
Well, that's because no one can shoot for Miami. Like Gerald Green, he might have been the worst pickup of the year. He just can never make a 3 anymore.
That's so weird because it seems like he goes through stretches where he's a good 3-point shooter, and then he goes through stretches where he's not.
Yeah, now he's been on like 30.
Not like 5-game stretches, like 18-month stretches.
Yeah, that's probably why he's been on like 8 teams in 7 years or something like that, right?
Yeah.
He's such an athletic freak too. It's weird. So Mark, the 2 guys for the Golden State though that I do somewhat think about are Harrison Barnes. First of all, I think Harrison Barnes is available in a lot of leagues. Does he interest you at all? Because I'm telling you, earlier in the year, I would say Golden State's first 20 games or so, before Harrison went out with an ankle injury, he was their 3rd best player. Like it went Steph, Draymond, and then Harrison Barnes.
I've actually dropped him in a couple of places. He hasn't played particularly well in the last couple of weeks. I picked him up, I don't know, a month ago, hoping he would kind of catch fire like he was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And he just hasn't really done a whole lot. Like the last month of the season, right? He's averaging 31 minutes a game, so he's playing plenty of minutes. He's only getting you 12 points, 4 rebounds. He gets you 2 3-pointers a game, which is solid, but he doesn't get you any steals or blocks or assists. The points and rebounds really aren't good enough. So really it's just 3-pointers, which seems kind of surprising, but that's his lone productive category is 3-point shots.
Yeah, the thing that also about Harrison Barnes, which is concerning me, his usage rate keeps dropping. What do you think his usage rate is?
I don't know.
It's 15.7%. That's really freaking low. Now, granted, you're on a team with Steph Curry, and you also have Clay. But when you think about it, he should have a higher usage rate than that because Bogut sure as hell isn't going to shoot the ball. Draymond really doesn't take a lot of shots. So you would think it would be you would think it would be close to 20%, but it is not, which makes, in my opinion, Harrison really hard to own right now.
Hey, sorry, Dan. How many 3-pointers do you think Dwayne Wade's made in his last 44 games?
Dude, sadly, I watch every dang Heat game, so I know it's not a lot. He makes less than half a 3-pointer a game. So you said 44 games?
Yeah.
I would say, man, like 14?
Lower.
Wow. 8?
Lower.
That's, come on. Don't make me cry during the show. Like 4?
Lower.
Any? You make 0?
He's made 1.
He's made 1 of the last 44 games.
He had a 3-pointer in Brooklyn, December 16th.
How many has he
And
taken? Does it say that?
I don't have that right in front of me now.
I mean, in one hand, that's really impressive because he's still a really productive player. Like he put up 32 last night against Golden State. To be productive and not in the modern NBA as a two guard without ever really taking and especially making 3-pointers, that's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's bizarre. I mean, so he made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He made 6 in his first 6 games of the season, and he's made 1 since.
I mean, it's crazy, but I can tell you just from watching the games, there'll be I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 games in a row. He won't even take a three.
Yeah, well, it shows because he's not making any.
Yeah, I think he is like one of the worst for people who have taken over whatever 100 or something 3-pointers. He's like one of the worst in all time, like in 3-point percentage. So yeah, an interesting thing that you would think he would have been able to evolve his game to get a 3-point shot, but for whatever reason, what was not his strong suit. Well, you know what would be interesting? Who's had more 3-pointers this year, Dwayne Wade or Ricky Rubio?
I can look that up for you right now.
I guess it'd be Rubio, right? I mean,
it would have to be Rubio if he's made more than 7.
Yeah, it probably would be Rubio who
Rubio has had 6 in the last week.
that easily be Rubio then. Yeah.
Hey, Daniel, I think we should tell the listeners that before the show, you and I were talking about a no halftime challenge, and you said you'd give me Steph Curry.
Yeah, I'm sick of that guy, Mark.
You're delusional.
I'm going to give you Steph Curry. I'm going to destroy you.
I would take Steph Curry against any other player in the league.
Yeah, I'm taking my boy Russell Westbrook against you in no halftime, and you can have Steph Curry.
Sure.
First of all, on the surface,
how much money do you want to give me?
Well, we can play. I'm dead serious. Well, first of all, let's see who both of their next games are against. Well, well, it matters in terms of, for me, how much money I'm willing to spend. But let's see. So Golden State. Oh wow, dude, they play each other. This is fantastic. Man. Saturday night.
We can't play it. We can't play it.
Oh, can we do it like off the books? Like
Yeah, let's do it off the books.
Oh, they play. It's Golden State at OKC, 8:30 p.m. on Saturday. How cool is that going to be?
That's going to be a good game.
But all right, yeah. But next week I'll do it with you. You can have Curry. I'll take Westbrook, and whatever dollar amount you want, we can do. I mean,
probably a good time to tell our listeners. You mentioned the promo code at the beginning of the show, which they can use. That's BBALL. If you use that code at sign up, you get a free $10 to play on No Halftime. But the other cool thing is, if you can go there on No Halftime and you can just play a free challenge. So you don't have to enter any money. You can just if you want to just make a bet with your buddy, you can go there. You can set up the challenge. They'll keep track of it for you for free. And you can practice that way, or have some fun with your friends, or play for pride, or whatever you want to do. So
this is what I always recommend to Mark to do before he takes me on and loses his money. He should practice, play some rounds without any money at stake, and then try to attack me. But no, it really is a cool one. I had some good ones for no money today, and I'm glad they were for no money because it was all I played Archie Goodwin against like everyone. And because Earl Watson refuses to play Archie Goodwin right now, that did not go well for me. So,
yeah, that Phoenix lineup was kind of strange on Thursday night. So, and we talked about that game a little bit where they played Brooklyn, but they started Ronnie Price, Tyson Chandler, PJ Tucker, Devin Booker, and Chris Humphries. I
guess we should add those. So then Earl Watson, because he's now suddenly thinks he's.
And nobody played over the 26 minutes that Price played. Oh, excuse me. Booker played 27 minutes.
Hold on, Mark, though. Earl Watson, though, we should note, did not start, even though he started Chris Humphries, the third quarter he started Teletovic, if that makes any difference.
Teletovic had a great game. He was pretty much the only one that you would have wanted to own.
He went nuts.
Thursday night. He had 30 points, 5 3-pointers, 11 rebounds. He took 23 shots in 18 minutes.
Yep.
That's really impressive. your man crush Alex Len only had played 16 minutes. He did grab 6 rebounds and scored 13 points.
For only the 7th time this year, they actually did play Alex Len and Tyson Chandler together. So Alex Len went back to playing, that vital stretch 4 that we all know and love.
Well, they played. I mean, if Len played 16 minutes and Chandler played 22 minutes, they didn't necessarily have to play together.
No, but they did a little bit though.
Did they?
Yeah. I was actually watching it live, and watching Len try to defend the stretch 4, which did not go over very well. But yeah, so I mean, this just reinforces the fact that owning any of these Phoenix guys. I mean, Archie Goodwin got 17 minutes.
There's none of them, right? Is that the answer we're finally coming to? We've talked about him forever.
I don't know, man. How many times can we talk about Booker? I mean, Booker seems to be getting
the above, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's just, if you want to play any of these guys, just, have some liquor on hand because you might need to drink. It's just, I don't know what to do. I mean, I think we did mention Teletovic might be one of the guys right now that does appear to be a guy you might want to own for 3-pointers, right?
Yeah, 3-pointers. I think you want to maybe own him for potentially points. I think. Yeah, maybe Teletovic is the only guy that I would own. I'll take that back. Even though it still worries me though that he only got 18 minutes.
Who?
Teletovic.
No, he got 30 minutes.
I'm not. He got 30 points.
No, he got 30 minutes. He started the second half.
The box score I'm looking at has him at 18 minutes.
I think we could have a no halftime challenge over whose box score is correct. the one I'm looking at on the NBA app.
I'm looking for a second opinion here.
All right, yeah, I'm on the NBA app. It says 30 minutes. It says Chris Humphrey's only 10 minutes, even though Chris Humphrey started.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got Teletovic at 30 minutes on a different box score.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense how he put up 23 shots and got 30 points. No, yeah. Okay. I'm fully on board with owning Teletovic if you need help in 3-pointers. He's not very often going to get you 11 rebounds.
No.
And you can see he did nothing else. But if you need points at 3-pointers.
He fouled out. That's pretty impressive.
Good option. Yeah. If you play in a league that values fouls, he's also another good option.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a shame that Earl Watson is not going to make this easy on us, it appears. So.
No.
And John Lure, who was actually he was fantasy relevant just like a month ago. 4 minutes. 4 minutes, Mark.
Yeah, it's hard to understand why they don't just play their young guys.
What did John Lure do to get in Earl Watson's doghouse?
I don't know. It's really bizarre. He's trying to run a really deep rotation.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't
really
get it.
Yeah. So there you go. You want to do one more box score?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna give you some games, and you tell me which box score you want to discuss. Milwaukee, Boston, OKC, Pelicans, Brooklyn, Phoenix. We already did.
I feel like we already talked to OKC.
Pelicans a little bit.
We talked about both teams. I'm not sure I'm seeing anything in their box scores that's relevant for our listeners.
Anything in the Milwaukee, Boston?
Yeah, let's talk about that one.
All right, let's do a little Milwaukee, Boston. In Boston, the Bucks went down 107 to 112. See what sticks out. I guess for Milwaukee, the first thing we should note. I mean, again, they still have MCW coming off the bench and Greg Monroe coming off the bench and OJ Mayo starting, and Miles Plumlee. So many damn Plumlees, starting. So OJ Mayo only got 9. Even though OJ Mayo started, only got 19 minutes tonight. I played him in DFS. That hurts. Miles Plumlee only 13 minutes. So those guys are really only token starters. Greg Monroe off the bench played 34 minutes and had a really nice game against a horrible Boston front court. 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. MCW had not a great day off the bench, but played 32 minutes, 12 points.
Jabari Parker was part of your core 4 today, wasn't he? He had maybe his best game in the season.
No. He's been on a tear the last month.
He had 22 points and 6 rebounds.
Oh, no. Look, if you look at his game logs, he's been great the last month or so. Like he really has been. I'm gonna try to pull up his game logs too.
You're right. The game a couple of nights ago against Atlanta, he scored 28 points and had 13 rebounds.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure I see a better candidate than tonight, though, other than that one game. I guess he had a pretty good game against Charlotte the night before, 23 points, 11 rebounds. But this was definitely one of his best games of the season. And you're right, he's kind of stacking them together.
I mean, he's getting all the minutes he can handle. And if you read the Milwaukee papers and listen to their beat writers, they're saying that that kid's going to be giving Jabari like close to 40 minutes a night the rest of the season. So
why would he do that? That seems like a lot for a guy coming off of knee surgery.
They think he's fully healed. They want to see what he has. I mean, I know you're against giving anyone over 30 minutes. So I mean.
Well, 40 seems excessive.
All right, maybe not 40. I mean, I think I read 35 or 36 plus. All right, I shouldn't have said 40. But they're going to be giving him a lot of minutes.
Okay.
Oh, then again, Kidd plays guys 40 minutes. Like Chris Middleton tonight got 42, which is not uncommon for Jason Kidd to do.
So pick up, I guess, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, Jabari Parker, like if he's still available on your waiver wire, go pick him up. He's going to get a lot of minutes, and he's been pretty consistent. I mean, if you look at his last 5 games: 22 points, 15 points, 28, 23, and 17. And he's done that against some good teams. Washington has sometimes can be tough to go against their front line. Atlanta, not the best defensive team.
I'm gonna have to go watch me some videos on NBA on stats, NBAstats.com.
Yeah, I know that. It's weird because I remember you saying you weren't really high on him earlier in the year, but I'm telling you, he's come around. That's like the Bucks have had a horrible season in terms of they had like legit playoff aspirations.
So here's the thing with Parker is, you always have to look at which categories players can excel in. Even when he's going well, he can score and he can rebound pretty well. I'm surprised he's been averaging so many rebounds. I don't expect him to be close to 10 rebounds. I would expect him to be closer to 5 or 6 per game. And so, that's not a great category for him either. He's not a great passer. He doesn't get very many steals or blocks. Until he starts shooting 3-pointers or doing something else, it's basically just points and maybe a little help on the rebounds. And when you're talking about a guy who does 1 or 2 categories, the fantasy ceiling is pretty limited. That's my whole rationale for not liking Parker.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a good player. It's just that the contributions he gives you is pretty limited.
Yeah, I mean, I expect those rebounds to start going up. Like Milwaukee's not a good rebounding team. Greg Monroe certainly is not a very good rebounder. So.
And if he could get up to 10 rebounds a game, I would be really surprised. But that would change things for him, fantasy wise. That would create a new ceiling for him.
I mean, he's also giving you some assists though too, Mark. I mean, he's giving you, if you look at he is. Look at the last 5 games. He's got 2 games with 4 assists.
He's averaging 2.5 assists the last 5 games.
Yeah.
For the season, he's averaging 1.5 assists.
Yeah,
that's not enough to care about.
I'm telling you, if he can get you 4 assists a game, it's pretty. That's for a big guy. That's pretty good.
But he's not. He had 2 assists tonight. He had 4 assists last game. Then he had 2, 2, 4, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 1. Like he's gonna get 2, maybe 3 assists a night.
He's not Joakim Noah, all right. But I'm just telling you, he give you a couple assists as well. Yeah. So.
All I'm saying is, if I want assists, I'm looking elsewhere. You still there, big guy?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm just fuming. You're not going to relent. You can't let me have my moment saying how Jabari Parker is now a good player.
He's done really well the last couple of games. I don't want people to pick him up and be disappointed.
All right.
And I especially don't want people to pick him up thinking that they're going to get him assists.
I mean, he's not Ricky Rubio. I mean, I'm just saying he's gotten you a couple assists.
He's not even like DeMarcus Cousins in assists.
Oh, dear God. All right, fine. Guys, if you're looking for a player with assists, don't pick up our boy Jabari Parker. You know what? Now, let's do a no halftime. I want Jabari Parker, and I'm going to decimate him.
All right. I'll take Steph Curry. You take Jabari Parker. Perfect.
Deal. Let's do it. I'm all aboard Parker. But no, in all seriousness, he was a core 4 player for me tonight.
Yeah, I started off trying to give you like a
Yeah.
props or congratulations. And
Well, part of that is because look, if there's one thing about DFS you can take away from the show today, whoever Boston is playing, you play the opposing power forward and center if they're viable in any way, because that Boston front court is horrific. Like defensively, it's Fat Sullinger and Amir Johnson, like who just can't. They're slow as oxes. They can't defend anyone. They can't really rebound. It's just you can attack those guys in the front court just so easily, and this is why I was, if I was a Boston fan, I'd really be really upset in real life that they didn't make a trade and try to get someone who can play a little bit better defensively in that front court position. So for DFS wise, that's why I had Jabari Parker as a core player for tonight. I mean, I love attacking those Boston Celtics front court guys.
that makes sense.
Anything else from this game though stick out to you?
No, I think that's it for me.
All right. Let us see. Wow, Houston, man. Houston's playing Portland tonight. It's not even at the half yet. They've already given up 60 points. What a shame. But let's talk Portland for a second though, Mark. Because there's a guy, there's a couple guys on Portland who I have no idea what to do with as well right now, and that's Aminu and Mason Plumlee.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't even we don't really even need to dig into the box score because it's not even halftime yet in this game. But regarding either of these guys, would you want to own any of these guys right now? I know Aminu's on a lot of waiver wires. He's been dropped. I'm not sure what Mason Plumlee's value is if he's still owned in most leagues.
I mean, Aminu's sort of still relevant, right? Like, I think you can own him if you want to. I think we know what he is though at this point. Like, I think he'll give you 10 points, 6 rebounds. He doesn't get a lot of assists either. Almost a steal and a block a game, and like one 3-pointer a game. So he helps out in a lot of different areas. He doesn't really excel in any of the areas, and he doesn't score a lot. So he's got a pretty low ceiling. But I would say if he's available, I don't have a problem picking him up.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem with Aminu. Look at his last 10 games. So he's 30 minutes. He's shooting 40%, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.6 blocks, 1.2 steals, and 9 points.
Yeah, that's not great.
I mean, and like his minutes have been on the decline. I'm surprised that he's actually still hitting 30 minutes or averaging 30 minutes. Like he's a guy that I've dropped, and I'm kind of off at this point. It's frustrating. I'm not sure. I thought he would have been a nice, reliable player for them, even though, like you said, he doesn't really score, but he can do a lot of other stuff. But
Plumlee's not all that different, right? Like he doesn't score a lot. He's a solid rebounder. He gets a fair amount of steals for a guy his size, and he blocks about 1 shot per game. So it's like what you're getting with him. You're going to get some rebounds and some defensive stats, and not a whole lot else. Alan Crabb is probably the most interesting guy to talk about on their team at this point, just because he's been getting plenty of playing time lately. Like in the last month, he's playing 26 minutes a game. He gets 10 rebounds, or not 10 rebounds, 10 points a game, 3 rebounds. He gets a steal, a little over a steal a game, and a 3-pointer a game. So it's helping you out in a few different areas. I would say if you need a guy who gets 3-pointers and steals, he's a pretty good option.
yeah, I mean, I'd actually agree with that. And another guy who, if you're looking to maybe stream a guy at night, is Mo Harkless. Is another guy who I know I've played a lot in DFS lately.
He's had some up and down games for sure.
Yeah, he has, and he's actually. I mean, his numbers, if you look at his last 10 games, I mean, very similar to Aminu. I mean, he's only getting 21 minutes, but he's shooting 60%, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, almost a block, a steal, and 10 points. So, if for some reason Aminu's minutes go down and Harkless's go up, he'd be a guy that I'd be interested in owning. But it's weird when you think about Portland because they're playing so well. I mean, what have they won now? Like 10 out of 11 or 11 out of 12. They keep winning, and it's really just Lillard and McCollum, and that's it. Like
they both scored 30 points in each of their last 2 games, which is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I was listening to some other people who thought I guess they had a chance to get Dwight Howard, and they didn't want to pull the trigger. It actually would have been interesting to see them with like Dwight Howard. They'd be actually a tough team to play in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta kind of balance like the talent increase versus the team, like the feel good team where everybody knows their role and everybody's playing their hardest, and then introducing somebody like Howard into there, and you don't know which way that will go. I think you can see why they wouldn't do something like that.
Yeah, but they really didn't have anything to lose, right? Because no one expected this season for them to do anything anyway. So
that's what I'm saying. So why ruin a good thing? Like,
well, I think it still would have been a good thing. I mean, if Howard came in and then they lost in the first round of the playoffs or whatever, I mean, people would have said, yeah, we got farther than we thought anyway. It was worth a shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that to me that's one of the most surprising. Like, I mean, I never thought it's this, but Terry Stotts could get Coach of the Year.
I think he's the favorite at this point,
which is shocking, right? I mean, I never thought of him as a good coach. Did you?
Not when he was in Milwaukee. I mean, he's been a good coach ever since he got to Portland. I didn't enjoy his work when was it in Milwaukee or
Miami or Bulls? It was Miami. Yeah, my stupid home team, Milwaukee.
Yeah, he seems to have really learned something when he was in Dallas with Rick Carlisle, because he's been a great coach for Portland.
You love Carlisle.
Carlisle is a great coach. I mean, I think it's Popovich, Carlisle are probably the two best coaches in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think who I'd put above. I mean, who I'd put above Carlisle. You might be right, actually. No, there's got to be another coach that we're missing.
I mean, people mention Brad Stevens a lot. Eric Spoelstra, I guess, could be up there. He's won some championships.
God, that's pathetic. God, there's so many coaches who stink if that's the top. Yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. Anyway, all right, so that's all I got for tonight, man.
Yeah,
I think we covered some good terrain.
Absolutely, you did a great job.
Thanks, man. I'm going to tell you, listeners, it's not as easy to host this as you guys think. I mean, we have this large show sheet. We have like 8 reads I got to do. It's very nerve-wracking. I'm very nervous.
Well, you made it look easy, my friend. They're going to think it's easy.
Was I like the Jabari Parker of hosts today?
Oh, no. You were like the Ricky Rubio of hosts.
No, Jabari Parker is better than Rubio.
Oh, okay. Whoever you want to be.
Jabari Parker. He's my favorite now.
I thought I didn't want to say you were the Jabari Parker, and then
I'm doling out assists left and right over here.
You're going to have to worry that we weren't – I was saying that you weren't giving assists, and then I didn't know where that was going to turn into.
No, it's just funny because I knew you were going to find a way somehow to dump on Jabari Parker. And probably rightfully so, because, I mean, you are right. He is limited somewhat in what he can do.
You were baiting me. You were saying you weren't that high on him, and I had to explain why I wasn't high on him.
A little bit. Good times, good times. All right, before I leave you, do you have any final words that you want to, tell our listeners? Nope. Anything? Where can they find you?
Review the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be helpful if you guys could rate and review the podcast. And when you rate and review, you could tell us which concert you're going to go by using SeatGeek promo code. I do hope that there'll be I have no idea what kind of crowd is going to be at this Enrique concert.
I'm excited to get a report. I can't wait to hear.
Who do you think is going to be there? Because I guess it was all like back in the day. It was young girls who liked him, right? Because it was somewhat like pop music.
I think it's just going to be a bunch of people that look like you.
What? It's going to be all like somewhat like 30-ish like men?
Yeah, sure.
No, it's got to be all. I envision like all hot Spanish girls there. Right?
Well, I for one cannot wait to hear your report.
All right, when we come back on, can you name any Enrique Iglesias songs, by the way?
No, I can't. I have
not
no
even
idea.
One?
No.
Hero, Mark? You can't know the song Hero?
I remember that one. I couldn't have. I didn't remember that one though.
I can be your hero, baby. Come on, you know that song.
Yeah, I do know that song. I just couldn't. I didn't remember it.
I'm telling you, play that for your wife tonight, and there will be some. You guys will have a good time.
Let's wrap this up.
All right. All right.
You've been trying to end this for 5 minutes. Let's finish this off.
I know the problem was that once I started thinking about Enrique, I just wanted to keep it going. All right, man. So that's it. We'll see you guys Monday. Have a good weekend of basketball, and that's it. That's all I got.
Good luck either making the playoffs or in your playoffs or wherever you're at.
Yep. Later, guys.